Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing very well. Today, I wanted to come and talk to you about creativity for wellness. Now, creativity is, once again, a very broad category, but um, it can be narrowed down to what it means to you. Now, there are so many different creative pursuits. Some people are creative on computers with technical skills. Some people paint. Some people make furniture. Um, it, some people write. Some people do a lot of those things. Some people do all of those things. But whatever it means to you is most important. So I'll tell you a little bit about my coming into being a designer and having a business based on creativity. When I was young, probably around 5 or so, my grandmother used to show me how to put quilt squares together. And she taught me also how to crochet, as did my mother. And both my mother and my sister helped me develop some skill in that area. Didn't take it seriously for a number of years after that. But once I got to college and I found myself feeling a lot of, stress during my downtime, like during winter break, I learned how to knit. I walked into a shop in Berkeley, and the store was empty. So the lady was nice enough to sit down and show me how to knit in an afternoon. So while I was there, before I left, I picked out some yarn and a pattern. And for my part of my Christmas break, our winter break, I knit a sweater. It was a little messy at first, but I finally got the hang of it. And I gave it to my mother. She was so happy with it, so proud. So that kind of kicked off this thing where whenever I had free time, when I wasn't studying, or whenever I just really needed a break, I would sit down and knit. I made a couple sweaters, gave, I think, one to my sister. I made some scarves, and then I also would crochet too here and there. I took crocheting for granted a lot for a long time. But as I moved on from college, and then more college, and then working in corporate America, once again, I felt that need to relieve some stress coming on. Now, it's kind of where I fell back on crocheting again, but I also learned how to make jewelry. So I was self-taught. I used to buy a lot of jewelry to wear at work. And eventually I started feeling like, oh, I could make some of these things. So I started making necklaces and then earrings. And before I knew it, my husband was saying, your work is pretty good. You should show it. So that's how my, career as a jewelry artist, an accessories artist, came to be. Now, and all of that, I can say there are times when I have orders or things that just aren't as relaxing to do as other things, where I still can feel some of that stress because now it's a work thing, but I can always fall back on things that I want to make that are fun to make, that's something new to me that helps relieve that stress. So I would definitely encourage encourage you in particular to take up a creative pursuit, especially if you find yourself bored, feeling any amount of stress, and you need to engage your mind, because that's really what it's all about. Engaging your mind in a healthy manner. So I would definitely recommend, if you know how to write a short story, write a paragraph, before you know it, you've written another paragraph, and then you're on your way to a short story or a novel. Or if you are a poet at heart, my husband's a poet. He just put out his third book. We'll talk about that soon. Um, Write some poetry, and then you'd be surprised at how many outlets are available online right now. Or if you're back out, into venues, if you're going back out to places where people sit and eat or congregate, you can perform your poetry. That's a whole nother issue, especially if you are, not into doing performances, but it's all about pushing yourself. Or not. You can keep your poetry for you, and that's perfectly fine. So there's writing, there's crafts like crocheting, knitting, sewing. Right now I'm learning more about how to sew, so I can add that to my list of things that I like to do and can offer if I choose to. So, there are three things that are really important for creativity as regards to wellness. And the first one is it helps you place your mind in a meditative state. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes when you're feeling a lot of stress, you need to relax your mind. You need to better regulate your breathing and feel more calm or feel more at ease. And one of the ways in which you can do that is to engage in creativity that can take your mind off of your problems, your worries, your concerns. It can help you feel productive. You begin to see what you're capable of creatively. And overall, it's just a win for your mind, for your body. If you have problems with blood pressure, taking up a craft is a great way to start to help regulate your breathing and ease your mind, and that can greatly positively affect your blood pressure. Another thing I was starting to hint at is that creativity builds confidence. If you don't have any idea of what you can do, what you're capable of, one of the best ways to start is to take a class or read a book on what you're interested in doing. And either way, you'll learn step by step all of the tools and methods that you need to create a work of art or a book or a story. So if you take a class or read a book or watch a video on how to do something, you will learn everything. You'll learn all the building blocks. You'll learn everything that you need to get started. And before you know it, once you know all the basics, you can start to put your own spin on things. And that's where the confidence comes in, because then you've put your name on a creation, and it's yours and yours alone. And you'd be surprised at how one creative pursuit can lead to another creative pursuit. The second thing is that creativity builds confidence. There are so many things in the world that just come along that can just knock you down, can make you feel unsure of yourself. And one sure way to do that is to have a product of your mind right in front of you, something that you've done, something that you've put together, and it can make you feel good. It can make you feel better about your entire situation, and it can open up a world of possibilities that you never imagined. The third thing is that, and I've been kind of saying this all along, creativity begets more creativity. As you move along in your creative pursuits, in your writing, in your sewing, you find that other things start to become more interesting. They seem more possible. You feel like you can tackle more. And it's true, you can and you will be able to, because you've conditioned your mind to realize that you can create whatever you want. Your mind is incredibly powerful, and we have to engage it as such. And filling up idle time with things that you can do that are positive and creative is the best way to improve your life and your entire well-being. So once again, creativity for wellness helps place your mind in a meditative state. Creativity builds confidence, and creativity begets more creativity. I want to thank you for stopping by. Take care.